This is Tony Milazzo, and you are live and on board, and today's guest is Eleanor Kerrigan. How are you, Eleanor?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Thank you for having me on this live and on board show.
Yeah, I'm very excited to have you. You're a very talented actress and comic.
Yeah, I try to be.
Yeah, I know I've worked with you before. We've worked at the Comedy Store, West Side, just here in L.A. I know you're an East Coast girl, too.
Yes.
You're from Philly, right?
South Philly. Hey.
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 I think that follows everything on the East Coast.
I have a lot of friends from Philly, including the Stallones.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
No one believes me they're from Philly.
No, they're from Philly.
Sylvester is my pseudo-husband.
Oh, really?
So Frank is my pseudo-brother-in-law.
Really?
So I know them well, actually.
Oh, great. Yeah, I know Frank very well. I used to work out at the compound. I was one of the soldiers.
Oh, really? Okay. What do you mean we worked out?
We
like
all
your
box.
box?
Yeah,
oh,
we
okay.
all kickbox and box.
I didn't know that. Yeah. That's great. They Frank comes to a couple dice shows. He came to the Roxy, and I feel like he came to another show. I can't remember where we were, but him and Andrew are good friends. Him and Dice are good friends.
Oh,
and
great.
Sly too.
Yeah.
In fact, well, growing up in South Philly, it's almost like that Rocky
Yeah.
is real for us.
Well, it is real. It is real.
No, I know, but
It's
like
his life. The metaphor. No.
Right.
Yeah,
And I know all
us.
the whatever, but I'm saying like, Joe Frazier's imaginary to us sometimes. It's kind of sad, but
Right.
it's silly. That's just how we are. It's our, you have to know Rocky. If I meet somebody that don't know Rocky or don't know all of them in and out,
Yeah.
I walk away. I might even punch them in the face, but I do walk away. I will
I
not.
kind of agree with you.
Yeah, I will not converse with you.
I mean, if you haven't seen Rocky, what rock
It's
is he been hiding
inappropriate.
under?
It's inappropriate, and
The whole underdog thing and
everything about it.
going for your dreams. and-
Exactly. It's so many different things in all of them.
Yeah.
And if somebody tells me, oh, this one wasn't good, I punch them in the face and I walk away. I don't care. Don't tell me any of them weren't good. They were all good.
Eleanor, I think they were all great. Please don't punch me.
Yes. I won't. I'm holding my hands down as we're talking about this.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, because I get angry when I do have anger issues, which is why Sly will only have me as a pseudo wife and not real.
Oh, okay. Now, does he know you're a pseudo wife? Like, if the next time I see Sly and Frank, will they remember that? That
No,
your brother-in-law and husband?
he's not really in on it. But
I've got things like that going on too, by the way.
here's the weird thing. Like I don't know if you know this, but I went out with Dice for years.
Right.
We were dating, and we split up for a little while. And I was going to move back east. I was going to move to New York, and he Dice proposed to me. And I was like, no, I don't want to get married. For a week, we were going back and forth. I wasn't answering him, basically.
Yeah.
So one day, we were at lunch, and I went to the bathroom, and when I came back, he goes, I want to introduce you to somebody. And he introduced me to Sylvester Stallone. And I literally was standing there. I was like, oh, my God, you're waiting for me to answer you to get married, and you bring the man of my dreams. I have been writing Sylvester and Eleanor on books since yesterday, from birth to yesterday.
Yeah.
Like I still do it every day. And you bring the man of my dreams.
Well, you put it out in the atmosphere, so there it is.
I was so nervous. And I looked at him, and he was doing Rocky at the time, the final.
Yeah.
And
Balboa. Right?
I looked at him and I went, I'm so proud of you. That was all I could say. He's the only person that could make me giddy, like
Yeah.
a schoolgirl.
Yeah.
And then Andrew's like, what are you looking at him for? I'm like, well, you brought him in. You know it's what I like.
Yeah, so once we're there, we're talking about Dice. Eleanor has toured with Dice. I know you toured for a couple of years, right?
We're still on tour. We work
touring.
at the, I'm on his residency at the Hard Rock. So 2 weeks out of every month, we're at the Hard Rock Hotel in Vegas.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So
great.
we go back June 5th for the weekend.
Yeah.
Then one, it's 2 weekends every month. So
Yeah.
you can go to the website.
I was always impressed with Dice, and he was an inspiration to me as far
Oh no,
as
he's
comically.
phenomenal.
Comically,
Yeah.
Yeah.
His
Dickory,
comedy's even
dickory,
crazier now. His comedy's gotten even crazier
Has it?
now because he's gotten so into the podcasting that, like, and I kept saying to him, the podcasting is great because you come up with new stuff. Like you riff on new stupid stuff. Like you can come up with anything, and I think that's what helps, like Rogen and all those guys, because they do it. Yeah, it's just every day I take headlines and try to write tags for it and write jokes. So you keep current. I may not use that in my stand-up, but it's a brain exercise.
Right.
And I think that's the same thing with the podcast. What they do is they'll take what's in the news and they make fun of it. Or you're just talking with your friend who's also creative like you.
Right.
And maybe we come up with something stupid. So it's kind of like brainstorming, and then you come up with a new comedy bit. So
and you got it.
I think it's amazing, the whole podcast thing.
Yeah. And it's recorded. You go back to your podcast. What was that I was saying?
There you go. Yeah. It's like, actually,
it's a workout.
Yeah, people, like, I started writing, oh, wow, I like that bit. Like, I'm not good at going and finding.
Yeah.
Like, I will probably never listen to this because I won't know how to find it.
Oh, okay.
I'm not computer savvy.
I'll hang it on your wall.
Yeah, it's really embarrassing.
At your apartment. No.
There you go. Come on over and play it for me, because that's how, I'm like a few steps below retarded with this kind of thing.
Oh, come on.
My dad owns a typewriter store. I have no idea how to figure things out
That
on the
is
computer.
Typewriter
Like, it's...
store. Has he owned a typewriter? It must be closing
How's he
soon,
own a
or did it just close
It
soon?
closed
right?
about a year ago.
Oh, shit.
And,
A year? You would think 10 years ago would have
no,
closed.
you would think 20 years, just in
Okay,
case you were
I
really...
was giving him some extra time there. Yeah, you're
No,
right.
because
20 years since somebody really...
I worked... I have a big fan. I have 9 brothers and sisters, right? We grew up in a South Philly row home, probably the size of this boat, which is awesome. That's why I feel very comfortable here. I like small spaces.
Do you?
Yeah, like a trunk of a car. I'm good in those situations.
We can arrange that.
Yeah, let's go. And I get excited easily. But so when I was really young, my parents split up, and people are like I stayed real close with my dad, and people are like, oh my God, you stay close with your dad? I'm like, when he left, we were thrilled. I needed the room. You know what I mean? I could get the whole drawer now. This is great. You know what I mean? Like I didn't get upset.
Drawer.
Yeah, I didn't get upset. I didn't get like, oh, my dad. I didn't give a shit. I was like, all right. He moved around the corner.
Yeah, now I'm only waiting for 14 people to get in the bathroom.
Yeah, there you go, right? And we only had one bathroom. It was frightening. We used to fist fight. I remember at my mother's house, we had a sheet was the door for the bathroom because there were so many fights to get in and out of it that we broke the door down. So I have 6 brothers and 3 sisters. I literally, people go, you ever been put through a wall? Yes,
Wow, I was going to say, it sounds like there was 9 to 16 of you.
We were,
Wow.
we were like constant, and my mom, we would always have random pets for no reason. Like we couldn't afford anything. Why are we adding?
Right.
We could barely afford to feed ourselves. My mom was a single mom with 10 kids.
So the pets were for dinner? You kill them and cook
Pretty
them?
much, grill them up. No, but my dad was 2 blocks away playing with typewriters. He was really adding to the financial disorder we had going on. So we would have like a dog, and we had the most popular dog. Her name was Fluffy. That literally, all my life, people would say, oh, you're Jimmy's little sister. Oh, you're Karen's sister. I know your sister Karen. I know Kathleen. He would say all these. Every 5 minutes, I was something else.
Right.
One day, I'm walking to school. I'm walking to high school. I see this guy. He goes, oh, look, it's Fluffy's sister. I go, I'll punch you in your throat. Are you serious? The dog is that popular? But she was, because my mom was like, we would get talk, but we had food sometimes. But me and my brother Charlie were kind of soft-hearted, and we would find other dogs, and we would give them Fluffy's food. My dog would be like, I'm fucking starving.
So Fluffy had more friends than you did.
She did, because she would walk around the neighborhood.
Well, you're busy waiting online for the bathroom.
Yeah. She was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. There's too many people. These people are retarded. I don't even know if I have a leash. I'm leaving. And she would walk around the neighborhood. And my mom one day was going to work, and this this dog that Fluffy used to hang out with, Blackie, another dog, and his owner was always around. And so his owner was there and everything, and my mom was going to the bus, and Fluffy went up to my mom, and my mom was so embarrassed, like, oh my God, the fucking dog's out, what do I do? And the guy goes, don't worry, she don't bite. And my mother goes, oh, I know. And she just kept walking. Our poor homeless dog is just wandering around the streets of South Philly. But everyone knew her, and she was a little racist. That was uncomfortable. And we grew up outside the projects, so sometimes I would come home from school and I would see we had this curly slide in our playground.
Yeah.
And I saw these two little black girls on the top of the slide, and they were like, you need to help us. You need to help us. And I'm like, what the hell are they yelling about? And here Fluffy was at the bottom. She wouldn't let them down. I was like, oh, shit. My stupid racist dog. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And they were like, there's something wrong with your dog. I'm like, I know. She doesn't really I don't know what happened. We just took her. But, we were always in the middle. She would go crazy. Yeah. Just chase around. She did not. I don't know what it was. I don't know who taught her that. I was too young to know that, so I didn't know.
So how was your childhood once we're there? Pretty good, the memories, even
though
it was
best.
Tough stuff. Tough stuff builds character. So.
You're absolutely right. It's like people, I meet kids, I meet all kinds of people that grew up certain ways, and anybody, sometimes I'll meet people, especially in LA. Oh, I hate my parents. I hate my mother. I hate my father. My father's this happened. He did that. They don't tell me they love me. I'm like, what happened? Jesus Christ. We didn't grow up like that. Yeah. No matter how bad it was. Sometimes, they would turn our electricity off. They would turn our water off. We did not have a lot of money. Sometimes for Christmas, my mom would buy things at a fire sale.
Right.
Be like, oh, let me try to get... I don't know how she did it. I got to be honest. It's part of the reason why, part of me wants to be an atheist, but the other part of me says, but then how the hell could this happen? How could my mom get through that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There has to be something bigger and more powerful out there, because it got her through the most ridiculous situations. I mean, you got to understand, there's so many of us, and it's not a great neighborhood. Right. It's not a terrible neighborhood, but it's not a great neighborhood, And like I said, there was a bus barn separating us from the project, so we were always meeting in the middle and just destroying each other for no reason.
So are you really good with money and really appreciative of the
No,
things
not
you
at
have?
all.
No, really?
I'm very, my mother is still... She always used to say that she thinks in a previous life she was very wealthy, because she just spends the thing is, you live in the now, you know what I mean? And that's a problem, but at the same time, it's a good thing.
Right.
Because we're not really good at saving.
Right.
I always say to my mom, I'm really good at surviving. I'm not good at succeeding, because I can survive anything, but to actually succeed, I don't know. I haven't hit that yet.
Well, that's the character as far as survival.
Exactly. It's that's where you build the character. But my mom...
but that's what you need to go to the next level.
Yeah,
you certainly have the character.
If we didn't have... if they turned our lights off, right, she would go, you know what, let's go get steak. What are we going to do? She would go and, write a check that she would tell them not to cash for, a week until she got paid. And she would make us, a great dinner, and we would giggle. You know what I mean? Because there's nothing you could do at that point. And it was this woman, it wasn't like she could reach up. My grandmom didn't have money. There was no money to be had. My dad's playing with typewriters. You know what I'm saying? It's not real lucrative. What's funny, though...
Not even in its day.
No.
Right?
Maybe in the 50s it was jamming, but...
He would be able to sell a couple hundred ribbons, maybe.
Yeah. And I mean, I worked for him from 4th grade all the way to 12th grade, so I know...
So you know how to fix a typewriter?
Anything you need.
Wow. What are you going to do with that skill?
I'm not sure yet. I might call Tom Hanks, and because he's big into typewriters. He thinks he's bringing them back, which I love.
Stop, does he?
So I'm going to call Tom Hanks and be like, look, I know you have all these vintage typewriters, and they may break down. My grandfather, my dad's dad, invented tools specifically for typewriters. Did he ever market them? No. Would that have worked out in the 40s? Yes.
Yeah.
He never marketed them. He kept them for himself.
Right.
He made them
Fix
for
his
himself.
own.
He was like, he was that amazing of a man. Like, unfortunately, I never got to meet him. He died a month before I was born, but I know so much about him.
Right.
And he made these tools. They never marketed them. My dad used them up until last year when he closed his typewriter store. He still has them. So I'm going to call Tom Hanks.
What was the final decider on closing? How did it finally set into him? Besides
didn't.
having no customers.
It didn't ever set into
even when he
him.
closed?
His wife made him close it. His wife was like, she's retiring
Right.
from a real position. Well, she's a sugar mama. And I love my dad. I do. I tease him. I make fun. But in all honesty, it was like that was his passion. That's what he loved. And that's what he did. So it's like, I mean, maybe he shouldn't have had 10 kids if he wasn't going to,
Wow.
if he wasn't going to evolve, if you will.
Do you realize they say that you spend about 1.8 million now on bringing each kid
can
up
you
till they're
imagine?
about 18?
Can you imagine? Yeah, I got to cash in. I didn't get any of that.
Well, they also say
Maybe
that if-
1,800.
Well, they also say if you don't have the child, that you don't have the money stashed somewhere, actually. You just
You
somehow
don't
find it during the bringing up. But
exactly, because you don't work harder. Like my mom had, she worked for the Navy shipyard. She worked for the government, and she worked from 9 to 5, and then during football season and baseball season, she would work for the Phillies and Eagles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's a vet girl. She was a nylon girl, and this was back in the day when the Eagles were good, and Dickie Vermeil was our coach, and he would, before every game, Dick Vermeil would jog around Vet Stadium, which is no longer, which Stallone closed. He went and did the closing,
I didn't know that.
yeah, of Vets, and my mom cried. She goes, "Oh my God, oh my God!" Not as hard as I was crying because my pseudo husband was in my city without me. It was really uncomfortable, and so we did. So she would be running late because she'd be coming from one job to run to the other to hopefully get us good Christmas presents and have a nice Thanksgiving and maybe a good Halloween, which was one of our favorite holidays. So she would be running to the stadium, and Dick Vermeil would be running around, and she would go, "Oh, hi, Dickie." Like she was good friends with him. And he'd be like, "Hello," like just uncomfortable running by her. But she was amazing. And about 15 years ago, Roseanne Barr, I always forget what name to call her, but who I love her. She's a sweetheart. Roseanne had a talk show, and I knew all the writers. It was Paul Mooney, everybody from the Comedy Store, Alan Steven. They were all working for Roseanne. Roseanne's a Comedy Store girl, so you know,
I know
Mitzi,
her from Governors in New York.
Mitzi discovered Roseanne, though. I mean, like someone brought, I can't remember who brought her to Mitzi, but it was like Mitzi thus became Roseanne kind of thing.
Yes.
So she's a very, Mitzi loves her, and the Comedy Store, you know, it's a whole thing. But so I went to her show because I had my brother Tommy was in town, and you know how they have warm-ups and stuff. And I was like trying to impress my brother. I'm like, yeah, let's go to a Roseanne taping. So we go to a Roseanne taping, and he the warm-up comes out, and he's like, "Who is the best mom?" And I'm like, "We do." And so they were like, "Tell us a story about your mom." So I told this story. I don't remember which one. There's so many great ones. And the guy was like jaw-dropping. And the other girl who had her hand up put her hand down. She was like, "I don't think I can top that." So that after, we're sitting there, we're laughing, and my brother Tommy's embarrassed because he doesn't like to he's very shy. And I'm making a spectacle because I'm an idiot. I wasn't even a comic at this point. I was still being a serious actress. I was going to be the next Meryl Streep. Not a lot of things worked out, but we'll see what happens. Now I'm going to be a clown. So, so Tommy's like embarrassed that I'm making an ass of myself. And afterwards, the producer comes up to me and goes, "Hey, Paul Mooney said he knows you. Can you come to the back?" I said, "Yeah." So Paul Mooney was like, "Oh, homie, we got to have your mom on the show." And I was like, "What?" So I was like, "Are you crazy?" He goes, "No, your mom's going to be the domestic goddess." And I'm like, "Oh shit, really?" So he's telling me all this stuff. So I'm kind of like excited because this is how bad I am. I'm thinking, oh, good, my mom gets a free trip to L.A. because she can't come, she would not be able to come see me a lot because we didn't have money and whatever. So she's still working around the clock at this point. Yeah. So I'm like, oh my gosh, that would be so exciting. I'd be so thrilled. And I call my mom and she says, you know what? That's really nice. Again, with the humbleness, humble pie, which is what I eat all day. She says, Eleanor, that's really nice, but I don't want to go on there because Roseanne sometimes tends to bash men, and I don't want her bashing your father. He left her with 10 kids. And she's like, no, I don't want, and I go, Mom, I'll make it a stipulation that she doesn't bring up that. She doesn't say anything bad about, I'll make him.
She has a lot of character.
Unbelievable. Like, who would say that? And so Roseanne said, okay, she wouldn't say it. And she didn't. All she focused on was, you're with you have 10 kids, you're by yourself, how do you stand up? So that happened. My mom came out. She did Roseanne. We had a day of getting our makeup done. It was very exciting.
That's really neat.
Yeah, at the time I was waitressing at the Comedy Store, so I was just thrilled to. We had a hotel room. My mom didn't have to stay with me and my roommate, who I loved and my mom loved too. She wouldn't have cared, but it was like a nice kind of treat. And now it's documented that my mom is a domestic goddess.
That's great. That's great. So I know you seem very inspired by your mom. I know that your mom's probably pretty inspired by you after that, right?
Well,
no?
Yeah, she is, and then she gets embarrassed. Again, we're not showy people. We're not like, hey, look at us,
So there's nobody else?
We're not panhandlers.
All right, gotcha. So there's no carnies, a variety, or
no, I'm the only
in your
idiot.
Family? You're the only one, huh?
I'm the only idiot that I know of. But I will say, like, my mom always wanted to be an actress. And not in a terrible way, but my grandma would say to her, oh, honey, you have to be beautiful to be in the movies. Not that my mom wasn't. What she meant was, back then, and they really did. I mean, you think of Marilyn Monroe, things like that. Yeah. Like you had to be. Rosalind Russell was your quirky sidekick, and she was hot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was not. You had to be a certain. And it still kind of holds true, but then there's so many, like Roseanne's, breaking those barriers and such great characters coming out of them. But, like, even Mae West, who was funny, was still, hey, baby. She was a hottie. Yeah. That's what my grandma meant. And my mom, not that she was a beautiful woman. Right. She's gorgeous still to this day. I'll bite her face. Right. But
that must be where you get your looks from.
I
know there's a podcast and we're not on video, but there'll probably be a still posted.
If you go on my Facebook page, I have pictures of my mom. Damn. We look like twins. I worked with a great comic in Atlantic City at the Borgata, who my family loves, Uncle Larry Reeve. Uncle Larry? Okay. And my family just still talks about him, by the way, which is awesome. And because I was like, hey, come see me. And they're like, hey, a tip from your Uncle Larry. I'm like, no one heard me? Nothing? But he told me something. You learn something every gig for me. I feel like I learned something every time. And with him, he said he was headlining somewhere random, and he was featuring, somewhere random in the beginning stages, and he did his act. He was booked by the booker, and then the headliner never watched him and came out and covered all the same topics and bombed. And he goes, from that, he learned to watch every time. So he watched my act, he watched the other guy's act, and then he went and did his thing. Right. Like, he was like, you always have to be able to shift gears. Because you don't want to be like a whiny headliner. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. Sometimes outside bookers, especially the Borgata, when you're working just in a regular circuit, you don't know who you're going to be lined up with. No. They book 3 people. One's a headliner, a feature, and an opener. Yeah. So unless you know that person, or you get there early and say, please don't talk about Rice Krispies. I have a great Rice Krispie treat joke.
Which I feel you can't go that far with it either. But I'm an actor-host before I was a comic. So setting the pace, the energy of the room.
Absolutely.
I'm hoping that all my comics are watching. They're not in these rooms.
Yeah.
I set it on fire. They come out. They do a slow pace. They change the whole feel of the room.
Yeah.
The other thing is, like you're saying, when you're in the back, if somebody listens, they're like, "Oh my God, I can't do the joke about the cereal. Oh no, I can't do the joke about my mother," just because somebody did a joke or something similar.
Yeah.
So,
So it kind of flatlines.
I don't know if it's better not to listen, and then you don't know the pace and tempo, but you're not freaked out about the material, or to
Right.
go listen. I don't really freak out about the material because it's kind of hard to steal any of my jokes or do any of mine in front of me.
right.
Unless there's another blind guy and a short guy in front of
Right.
me, in which case I've got tons of material and life experience.
Exactly.
I don't really care.
Well, my thing is, I agree, it's hard to steal. And I've known so many thieves in comedy and in real life, too, which is where, I know people that would rob this boat in a second, but I'm not going to tell them where we are.
Don't tell them where we are.
Because there's a bottle of, open pit
We're
barbecue
not in
sauce.
Marina Del Rey Harbor.
All of a sudden, a crooked nose comes knocking on the door. Hey, what are we doing in here? Hey, what's up? You're fine, But, nobody's going to be talking about a typewriter store. That's a very random...
Right.
Yeah,
right.
and nobody else was raised by a Marine who who owns a typewriter. You know what I mean? There's so many random...
You can't write that
and
kind of stuff.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and I talk about my family, and I try to stay with that as much as possible because it does give you originality. It does give you a sense of who you are and a point of view on stage, which is what so many people are lacking. Sometimes you'll see comics, my favorite comics, they have their point of view because they've went through everything. Bill Burr's the greatest, to me, comic right now. I think he's my favorite. Dom Irrera, these are the top. They know themselves.
I'm a big fan of Dom's.
Oh, Dom's my
Big
best
fan of
friend. He's in Ireland right now visiting with my ancestors.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
He goes to Ireland, I go to South Philly.
Oh, great.
I'm
doing a movie in Ireland soon.
Oh, really? Yeah, he's in Kilkenny right now doing a festival.
Oh, Kilkenny. All right.
Yeah, he says, don't do the joke or he'll punch you in the face.
Oh, okay.
The
I got a lot
South
of
Park
friends in
joke?
Kilkenny. Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. Kilkenny. I get it. He gets angry. But yeah, Dom's one of the best. He's taught me so much with the stand-up. Because for years I was a waitress at the store. For a long time. I was Mitzi's personal assistant, So I was around stand-up comedy, but I was always in some ridiculous play where I was just raped or, I was always crying. Everyone is dead around me. I'm the only one alive kind of
drama.
play.
Yeah.
And all my friends were comics and they would come see that going, why are you doing this? You're funny. And I'm like, you're an idiot. You don't know what... This is me.
Yeah.
I went to Temple. I'm a theater major. I know Shakespeare in and out. They're like, you're an idiot and you're doing the wrong thing. So I never listened to them. And they would always tell me to do stand-up or, Dom, Rogen, all of them. Every night. Freddie Soto. I don't know if you know Freddie.
Yeah.
Freddie was...
I know of him.
Freddie was my best friend. And when he passed away, I was engaged to Dice.
Okay.
And I did not handle Freddie's passing well. So, and Andrew was very close with him too. So I didn't really handle it well. And for a year, I kind of checked out. And then I lost my grandmom right after. And my family is, everything to me. So what happened was after I started to kind of come out of it, I had already ruined my relationship with Dice. Not in a bad way, but I kind of checked out. I wasn't there for him, I kind of screwed that up.
Yeah.
And it's fine. Because we're still best friends and we kind of grew apart, so we understood. With no crazy animosity. And, and so we still stayed very close. And we were filming a show at the time, a reality show, which kind of stinks because everybody breaks up when they do a reality show. It's kind of funny. We became statistics. Yeah. And so we were doing that show and that was airing and I was like, you know what? I started to hear in my head a lot of Freddie. Dude, you got to do your one-woman show. Dude, you got to do this. Dude, you got to do that. So I started doing it, and then Dice came to see it. So I started out, and I went up at the West Side.
Oh, okay.
That was the first place I did stand-up.
Right.
And it wasn't...
She's talking about West Side Comedy Theater.
There you go.
Rap Hack shows there.
Yeah. And I did my first... I would just tell stories about my family. And two really great comics, Adam Barnhart and Cynthia Levin, were helping me kind of develop this storyline. And then I would go do Adam's show at the Comedy Store in the Belly Room on Sunday nights, which is also a great show, Comedy Revival. And Adam would let me do little bits and pieces. And then Dice came to see it, and he was like, dude, you're doing stand-up. I'm like, no, this isn't stand-up. This is acting. This is me telling my stories. He's like, it's stand-up. And so he gave me 3 months to go on the road with him. He gave me 3 months to come up with 10 minutes. I went from 4 people in the Belly Room to 2,500 people at the Wells Fargo Center.
Nice.
In Santa Rosa, California.
I still tell people I'm not a comic. I'm an actor, acting like a comic.
Well, but now I feel like...
Are you a comic?
I'm a comic.
I still say
I'm a comic.
I'm an actor, acting
I
like
had
a
to let
comic.
that go. And not that I'm not really a good dramatic actress, that's not going to come up later.
Yeah.
When,
Well, it all comes
you
full
know,
circle.
the world ends and I'm the only one standing there crying. No, just kidding. But it was every joke. Like Freddie, like I said, Freddie Soto, when he would like edit my reel, he'd be like, oh, good. You were molested by your father in this one. Great. You have to cry the whole time. Like every time he would edit, he go, and one guy, another great comic, Willie Bingo. You know Willie?
I've heard of him.
Okay, he's a nice kid. He's a nice guy. And he made me come over and tell this story, and it was emotional, and I was crying, and he put a laugh track to it. Because I would always do these dramatic pieces.
That's funny.
He put a laugh track over
Lighten it up a little bit.
It's the greatest piece I've ever seen because I'm literally crying about dating, and I'm like, I'm fun to be with, and I'm hysterically crying, and he's got this hardcore laugh track. It's so brilliantly done.
I want to see that.
Yeah, we have to ask Willie Bingo if he can show it. When I did it for him, he was going by a different name, but he's still Willie Bingo.
So what's next for you? What do you want to do?
Well, I want to write I have a pilot that I wrote about my family, a show. And I want to get that on. I want to get that on TV and going. Sitcom.
Oh, sure.
It might be more like a cable show, like a HBO or a Showtime.
Right.
You know, it might need a little language.
Yeah, my family's a little out of control too.
A little out of control, it's South Philly, it's a little, but like people think my dad's typewriter store is a mob front. And I'm like, yeah, right. You know, mob fronts are lucrative. But I always say that like in my act, I'm like, wouldn't it be great if you just walked in and hit the shift key on an Underwood and the wall spun and it became a speakeasy, you know? Like, yeah, that's what we're doing. But, so yeah, I wrote this pilot that I'm kind of shopping and trying to get out there. Right, so we'll see.
There's a part in there for me, of course.
Of course. Okay. I don't see why not. We need a lot of Tonys.
Yeah.
And your height is perfect.
Because I'm nice and tall?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
In South Philly. Everybody I dated, I ate soup off their head.
How tall are you?
5'7".
Yeah.
No, 5'8". I just
5'8"?
said 5'7".
Yeah.
5'8". I'm 5'8".
Yeah. She's actually a tall chick to me. I'm
a tall chick to a lot of people.
I'm used to dating. I like to date 5'10", 5'12", so I can climb up.
There you go. Yeah.
So,
well, if I'm wearing heels.
Yeah.
You don't even have to.
Then I'd have to go up on you.
Yes,
so,
it's very exciting.
But yeah, she's a tall girl. We look like a really cute couple. So you still single?
I am right now.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm trying to stay that way.
Are you really?
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm single. I just, I'm on the hit it and quit it these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can't get in another relationship.
Cheap. I don't know if that'll work for us. I feel cheap. I don't know.
Ew, hell cheap. Yeah, I've been engaged twice. I'm not a closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not my thing. So,
all right,
my first ex-fiance, I'm still somewhat friendly. Yeah, I talk to him once in a while, but
yeah.
It would have been dangerous if we went the distance.
Right.
Because his father was one of 17. His uncle was played for the Brooklyn Dodgers, Ralph Branca.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the pitch. He was just in 42, and a shot heard around the world.
So what did he do?
Billy, my first, he was a booking agent. Everything had to do with comedy.
Yeah, you having a pattern here or what? I find that
it's almost like I'm blind.
Yeah, you are.
I can't see what I was doing as I was waiting tables at the Comedy Store all those years.
Entertainment relationships are tough. Where both are in the entertainment biz. That's tough.
Yeah, but the agent thing. I mean, and he was a booking agent for comics.
And then Dice.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Terrific.
Funny guy.
Yeah.
Super talented, but the two of you doing entertainment.
Well, yeah.
Is that the issue? Or deep
No.
down, it's just you. You're not ready to get
it wasn't.
married. You're not a marrying type?
I think I'm not a marrying. I don't know. I really don't know if
Family type, lots of character.
I'll stay with you, but I don't like signing things or making anything legal. I'm not into.
No, I think I agree with you on that because
Yeah.
I've never been married, and it's kind of why do we have to have this? I don't understand. If you want to be together and you're having fun, can't you just do that? What's this whole?
Yeah, and like
it's a false security because once you do it, usually you break up, or especially in California. There's a lot of
California.
The divorce rate's so high. Why do it then? And then this way you stay together and continue having fun.
Right, and I have so many friends that have gone through such terrible divorces. Like my mom and dad are good friends. My sister Karen, when she split up with her husband, were good friends. He actually lived.
That's rare, though. Come on.
I know it is, and I think it's because
people hate each other until they
I
break
don't.
up. They
But here's the
other.
thing: I don't know how it gets to that point. Like you have to figure out a way to. First of all, I grew up in a very forgiving, unjudgmental household.
Yeah.
My dad left my mom with 10 kids. Is she going to waste her time on hating him and his new girlfriend?
Right.
Is she going to stand up and be the person who she's responsible for 10 children?
Well,
do you know what terror we could have caused?
I'm with you on that because I don't understand either. I guess it's the passion and the love. You love.
Of course.
Then when you got to cut it loose, you got to cut each other or something. It's like really,
right, and so
it gets bad. It gets
it's
ugly.
not easy to do, but it is a lot easier to do it if you don't do it filled with hate and animosity.
Oh, yeah. Then all of a sudden you got
someone
lawyers,
else,
money, the kids are hurting, you're suing each other.
It's 20 years later, you're still on this one person, and like
wasted
my
energy.
Good friend, it's 10 years, and she is still coming after. Just let it go, or kill yourself because you can't handle life. That's how I feel.
And by the way, Eleanor is sitting here talking with her hands. It really should be a video because she's talking with her hands, and I love it, and you really should see it. The only part I don't like about it, if you hear all those noises, that's her all over the
I can't sit still.
Yeah, she can't. I like it, though.
Just deal with the...
You're animated.
I am.
So
I'm
you're
very
Italian.
cartoony. No, I'm 100% Irish.
No.
Isn't
you're
that
Italian.
weird?
I'm making you Italian.
I'm only Italian
you're
through
Italian.
injection, and that is
good.
it.
Oh, all right. That's enough. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
In growing up, I had 3 boyfriends named Mario.
All right.
And they get really angry when I say that. One I was with for like 6 years, I think.
3 boyfriends named Mario at the same time?
No.
So Mario Brothers.
Different.
You actually dated
I dated
Mario
the Mario
Brothers
now.
Wow. I only played the game, but... Okay.
There was different. They were all different times. It was just random that their names were Mario. Right. It was just funny, like silly. 2 of them were best friends.
They have a brother Luigi?
They were best friends. No. But I grew up in an all Italian neighborhood, and in South Philly, it's still segregated, so that's fun for everybody. But I grew up in an Italian neighborhood, and there was like 5 Irish families, maybe more, but the 5 Irish families were very big.
Right.
Like the Kerrigans had 10, the Gallaghers had 11, the Duffys had 11, It was a lot, it was like, oh, wait, all right, we're not going to bother them because they have their own gang,
Right. Right.
So no one really bothered us, and we just kind of blended in. And what happened is you grow up and you just talk like that. Like all my friends are Italian. I have one's half Irish, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I would go in the Irish neighborhood, which was very tough, And they would say, let's beat up that Dago. And I'm like, my last name's Kerrigan. I got shamrocks coming out of my ass. What are you talking about? Like, I'm 100% Irish. I got jumped a couple times in the Irish neighborhood.
Yeah, I like that about you, too. She's a tough
I don't
chick.
mind. Yeah, I like to
She's
fight.
She's beautiful and a tough chick.
I do like to fight.
I wouldn't mess with her.
Good, you shouldn't.
I wouldn't want to meet you in a dark alley.
The anger issues, I don't know where they came from. Could be my daddy and his, like my dad joined the Marines so he can kill people and not have to go to jail for it. So that's awesome. It's a great way to think about it there.
Oh, well, that's in your bloodstream right there.
Yeah, I think he has anger.
Yeah.
And then some of us have it, some of us don't. Like my mom is the most patient person I've ever encountered. I mean, you have to be.
Have you done any boating?
No, not really. I have.
It makes me less angry. I want to kill people less or kick their butt less.
You're saying like if
it's
I
more
got
relaxing.
into
boating, yeah. I wish I would have boated younger.
Well, I can't really relax if I'm like, oh, is that a shark? Yeah, I can't really relax. I feel like I'm in the wrong neighborhood.
Don't get in the water. Stay
yeah, but
in
I'm
the boat.
I'm on his roof.
Oh,
you understand?
Okay.
I'm bothering him.
Yeah.
So he can't come in my neighborhood. I don't go in his neighborhood. I kind of keep that South Philly segregation going.
So does that mean, because we're just bobbing around out here today like usual.
Yes.
Mostly because every one of my guests don't want to really go out boating. They're scared of sharks.
I'm not scared. I'll fight a shark right now. I just don't want to bother him. You know what I mean?
You'd bite its head off. You'd leave it for dead. Probably the whole...
I one time was at
gang
a
of
party in Malibu, and I was with a friend of mine, and I was I'm such a hood rat. Like, I don't get a lot of things, and this was a beautiful Malibu house, and people were out they stand on the surfboard, and they use the oar. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I've never seen that.
Kind of weird. No
Yeah,
life
it's odd.
preserver.
Yeah.
Not in the ocean. No
It's like you're
rules,
not really
no laws.
surfing. You're
Yeah.
kind of an asshole. I don't
Yeah,
really get it.
I don't get it either.
So this guy's out there, and I'm watching him, and I'm like, wow, that's a weird sport, And we're in Malibu, and it's gorgeous. I'm like, that's a weird... Is that a shark behind him? But here I was shitting myself. I'm like, oh my God, it was a dolphin. And then the guy just pets it, and I'm like, don't touch that. That's not your business. Get out of his house. Like, in my head, I was like, is that guy crazy? I was like, and I'm with this little girl, too, who was at the party, and I'm thinking, this girl's going to watch that guy get eaten right now. And I was like, you should go inside, honey. She's like, no, look at the dolphin. He's going to eat him. Like, I'm so unfamiliar.
You are so East Coast.
Exactly. I'm so unfamiliar with
That's
the
how I am.
laws of the water.
I mean, I'm a sailor now, and it took years, but people look at me strange when I say certain
I mean,
things out
such a
there.
spectacle at that party.
Yeah.
I was never invited back.
So I want to see you soon live, and I want to see you acting.
I'll send you my reel. No one else watches it, so you can.
Oh, that's because you're going to be working on something really soon. I just put it out there. I want to see you
I
acting
put it
on
out
something
there.
really soon.
It's going to be big.
Yeah. I mean, we're sitting here getting ready for the show, doing a sound check, and she's talking on the phone to her commercial agent, stuff coming in, phone calls. I don't even hear from my agent.
My commercial agent asked me if I don't mind swimming in a lake, so I'm sure there's something big coming up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, something big. It's like it's some sort of lake snake.
That's what it is.
Waiting for you. The Loch
he's going to
Ness.
drown me because he can't get rid of me. She keeps calling. I have nothing for her. No one wants her.
Yeah, can you swim, Eleanor? Oh, we really don't care. Can you do this lake thing?
We're going to put you in a submarine, send you over to North Korea, see what you can work out.
Yeah, as long as they keep putting you to work.
That's right. That's right.
We're basically all just a bunch of whores in this entertainment industry.
Oh, I'm a whore in so many industries. I used to be a whore in the food and beverage industry, and now I'm a comedic whore. And
I'm a
we'll see what
whore
happens.
in every way.
That was such a sweet, soft
Call me.
voice.
Call me.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, so...
Now I can't tell my mom to listen.
Why not?
Because I told everybody I'm a whore.
No,
She gets
come
mad
on.
when I
She
say
knows,
that.
She knows what you mean. She knows you're not
She knows I am.
really a whore, that you're just a whore. No, she knows. She knows. Moms know.
Yeah.
My mom doesn't like a lot of things that I say, probably in this show that we talked about today.
Sorry.
That I mention her, that I discuss her mustache on air.
Wow, you didn't bring that up.
She's an Italian mom.
Well, she is Italian.
We go for the jokes, right?
Yeah. I'll tell you one of the...
Is your family okay with that?
Yeah, my mom doesn't care. She'll get right back at me. But, yeah, we're not real thick-skinned people. We lost that from sharing beds together years ago.
Right.
And not in a sexual way. You know, we just didn't have the room. Like, I slept in my brother's room. So there was 7 of us in one room. Me and 6 boys. Wow. Frightening. So I didn't know I was a girl until like a week ago. So I really don't know I'm a girl.
Dice have to remind you?
Sometimes, yeah.
Hey,
he's like,
chick.
Why do you do that? You know, he gets mad, like certain things. I'm like, oh, I didn't know I shouldn't be lifting air conditioners. And, you know, I didn't know I was supposed to be soft and docile, you know. But I'm not that person. I just, you know, like I said, I was always with them. But growing up in South Philly is very Italian. Most of my friends, their parents speak Italian. Like they don't speak English.
Right.
And so one kid moved to our neighborhood, and the one kid was my brother Billy's age, and the other brother was my brother Johnny's age. And so we hanging out all the time. They were learning English from us, which is frightening. That's the worst. Like, obviously, you're not gonna pass in school if you're cheating off of us. Like, I'm sorry, I'm making noises with my feet now.
We're used to it.
So, yeah, everyone.
No, that was me humping her again.
Kink, kink, kink. So his first, month in Philly, this kid, he just moved, all excited. He's cheating off us in English class, you know, like in school. We're like, fuck the test. Who cares? You don't need to, you know, let's play hooky. You know, we're teaching him the real South Philly rules. He's like, all right, you know. So we got in trouble for breaking into these U-Haul trucks. And we were probably 8 or 9. So what the cops would do is come by in a paddy wagon, catch us. They put us in the back and drive you around the neighborhood, you know, to scare you. So then they take you to your house. And so we had to tell him where we lived. And this kid Dante had to tell him where they lived. And he gets out of the paddy wagon, and the doors are open, and his mother is like this 6'6", God love her, God rest her soul, 6'6", mustache, Italian woman with a house coat on, slippers. In the middle of the afternoon, you know, she comes out. She's got her wash rag because they're always working and cooking. And here's her son, who just moved to the United States, getting out of a police paddy wagon. And the police telling her that they were breaking in the U-Haul trucks and to watch her son. And she's Americans disgraziata tu. And she spit at me and Billy. What do we do? So that was my first cursing out by an Italian woman with a mustache.
Oh.
She was great. God love her.
Yeah.
But then we became really good friends, and I mean, he started getting himself in trouble, but you know.
Were you always in trouble? Because you look like trouble.
We would get in
she's trouble?
We would get in stupid trouble. And then as I got older, I have a sister that's 10 years older, and we look exactly alike. So I say older, meaning 14.
Right.
I would use her ID to get in clubs.
Right.
And what's sad is no one questioned it. That's how old I looked at 14.
That's crazy.
So no one ever. I could get beer. I would go get 40 ounces at the you know, wherever the Chinese place is. I'm trying to clean that up, by the way. I don't know if you. I was trying not to be racial at that moment. So whatever Chinese, the liquor stores, you know, I'd go in there and buy the 40s for everybody because no one ever questioned. Oh, there's no way she's only 14. Because I was tall, I guess. I don't know. Or I looked like Benjamin Buttons. I don't know. Maybe I was older when I was younger. Yeah. And so I would go in clubs and stuff, and then they would raid them, and I wouldn't show my sister's ID. I would just hide it because they would take it from you.
Oh, yeah.
So, and if I got caught, my sister would get in trouble. So I would
get the club owner.
So I would take that kind of hit. And so a lot of times like that, you would get busted. They put you in the sweat box for an hour or hanging on the corners, things like that. Stupid stuff we would get busted for, a lot.
Yeah. And you are trouble. Matter of fact, this show is already 5 to 7, 10 minutes over.
Oh, am I running the light?
Trouble.
Is that what you're telling? You didn't give me the light. I don't run the light.
No,
I'm not that person.
I would never give you a light. That's
Hit
why
me with
we're
a bat.
over. That's why we're over.
All right. We're out.
Thank you, Eleanor. It's been a fun show. You're coming back.
Coming back.
You're coming back.
We're coming back. I got to come back.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. You've been listening to Tony Milazzo, live and on board with Eleanor Kerrigan.
This show has been produced by Tony Milazzo, Alyssa Inferna, and David Ringwald. If you'd like to be on board, check us out on Facebook at Tony Milazzo Entertainer, tweet us at Tony Milazzo Live, or snail mail us at P.O. Box 10074, Marina Del Rey, California, 90295.